everyone, and welcome to Formula Fun Sim Racing. It is myself, Zabby, and I'll be on the commentary mic for this race here in Australia in Albert Park, and we are about to get started and waiting for the 5 red lights to get going. As we are now underway, it is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 red lights, and we go racing in Australia. Go, go, go! On the front row with Scrubbins on pole position with drivers right behind. And into turn 1, we'll see the top 2 fight it out. It's going to be Scrubbins all around the outside. Can go there already. Meanwhile, there is going to be some cars losing positions and some gaining positions there. There's going to be side-by-side action between some cars at the back as well. Meanwhile, it's going to be Flyscott in P3, last year's champion, along with Zen and Scrubbins in P1 and 2 as cars behind fight it out as well. Meanwhile, there is some AI drivers, but Kesp, Spifield, and we'll have over Footy along with High B, Flyscott, Scrubbins, and everybody around in this race. Meanwhile, there's going to be a little bit of a fight between Flyscott and High B at the back. Who's he going to be coming out on top, though? Is it going to be High B or is it going to be Flyscott? Is there? Meanwhile, Fly's going to try and defend everything he can, and for the time being, yes, he can defend, and Flyscott has been able to defend his third place for time being. We're only on lap 1, and the action's already getting started, and the action-packed race has begun here at Australia as we're here for this amazing race. We're going to see these cars fight out. Meanwhile, we're going to be having a look at Zen one more time, but hope to see some more action out there as well, as we'll get to see everything out there. So in fact, it's not Zen, it is I believe Flyscott in P3, the driver we know. Yes, it is Flyscott, the driver in P3, our previous year's champion. So we'll see, what can everybody do? What can they do? Can they come back on top? Or is it going to be anybody else? Meanwhile, we have a driver in P10. I believe they have been disqualified for some reason. Not quite sure why, but our rookie of this year gets disqualified in their first race. Meanwhile, that is Zen's cars. Ahead of them is Scrubbins in P1. We'll see, though, can everybody, and can they go for it, though? It's going to be Zen in P2 and Scrubbins in P1. Can Zen go for it, though? Can they try and go for it? Of course, as DRS seems to be, in fact, no, DRS is, in fact, enabled on lap 2. As we're going to get this along, are they going to try and go for it? Not this time around, though, but Zen's going to get another chance. Zen's going to get their DRS activated one more time. The rear wing's going to open. Is it going to be Scrubbins or is it going to be Zen? Is Scrubbins going to be able to defend his position quite smartly? Yes, they will be. Zen doesn't even go for it, but could there be a chance for them at the start? What about High B? Oh, a little bit of a moment for High B there, as that was a little slide of the rear end for High B, and that's going to be a spin, and that is going to be a spin for High B, and that then's going to be a position for Foot into P4. Meanwhile, a spin, lose the rear end for High B, and that is a position for Footy. But what about these guys, though? Is it going to be Zen? Is it going to be Scrubbins one more time? Again, on the second DRS straight, we're going to see there are 40 other zones here around Australia, but we'll get to know what can Zen do. Can they make this front row into a race-winning position? Front row into P1. Still got plenty of left. It's going to be Footy now this time around. The same little mistake which earlier High B made, and it was almost similar, even in fact a carbon copy, but this time around though, High B was not close enough to make that move. But can they do it this time around? Will it be the one this time they do it, though? The DRS zone is going to be there for him. But what about Zen then, as we switch up cameras to look at this little battle between the top two? We a little bit at the back, it was Footy and High B. Meanwhile, Flyscott is far away on his own. The top two are within a half a second of each other, along with High B and Footy as well, within a half a second of each other. Meanwhile, this battle's on again. Meanwhile, as it's High B right behind still, not able to get ahead. A little mistake there was from Footy, but they've been able to keep their position. They've been able to keep it to themselves. A little slide to the rear end, I believe, once more, but they're going to keep it to themselves. They slightly go wide, but it is going to be all control over. Do they have the control to defend this position, or will Footy have all the control to get the overtake done? As we switch up back to the top two, and still Zen just hasn't been able to overtake. They have not been able to make the move on our race leader. But what about High B, though? Can they make it this time around? One more chance not again to be. High B is going to be
what the
there,
hell?
and this time around it's going to be a little slide of the rear end. They're going to collide, and they both are going to collide, and Fitty's going to move forward, and that's going to be almost another spin, and just staying away from the walls was High B there. A little slide from Fitty there allowed High B to go round the outside, but that did not be the case for them at all, and almost ended up against them. I mean, in fact, it did end up against High B there, but that was very close between the two, and they made contact in the end. Definitely, there's going to be some talks about it after the race, but we'll see how that is going to be. A collision and a contact between two cars. High B and Fitty already make contact, and Fitty's going to keep that P4 to themselves, but we're going to see, and now there's going to be a problem, and Scrubbin's going to make that little mistake. That rear end is really hard to keep on, and round the outside it's going to be Zen, and now into turn one they go. It is going to be Zen. Before they even could get to that braking zone, Zen is through and into P1, but Scrubbin's going to get another chance. Are they going to go to the inside, or are they going to go to the outside? And Scrubbin this time around fakes it from outside to the inside, but just not enough, and not enough for time being, as now Zen is into P1, and your new race leader is at the top on lap 5 out of 15, and this is now Zen's race to win. We'll see what they can do though. Still going to be many opportunities, many chances, and many laps remaining for Scrubbins to get through and have a chance of this victory, but we'll see how good can they do, or can they actually do it. This is only down now onto them to do everything they can and show us what exactly can they do. Is it going to be this time around? This was almost a chance there for Scrubbins there, and it's going to be interesting because there's going to be another DRS zone, but not enough. And one more time now, probably the main straight where Scrubbins lost that position could be the place, and could be the part of the track that they gain it back once more. Just making around the final corner now. The top two are there, and they are ever closer, within half a second, within 5/10 of each other. Is it going to be Scrubbins, or is it going to be Zoku who's going to be on top into turn one, or is it going to be round the outside now? Can Scrubbins hang in there? Yes, they can. We saw one contact earlier in the race between the drivers. Is it going to be a second one? And yes, that was going to be Scrubbins. A little wheel banging between the two, and Scrubbins going to fall back, and that was then going to be a little problem for Scrubbins, as they're going to fall back. A little contact between the two, of course. 1 into 2 doesn't always work right, and especially into turn 2 in Australia. Little wide went Scrubbins there, and definitely then having grass on their tires did not make it best for them.
It was close. It was close though, I think. We were side by side for a second there.
Yeah, I tried to back out because I didn't think I was going to make it, and I was too late for it. Alright, time to push.
The gloves are off.
Yep. It's been an intense battle.
And I've been kind of keeping an eye on your times, waiting for you both to each other up. I'm so far behind.
See when the first chance of pit stops come. Meanwhile, they are on the medium compound tire as well, and probably this race would the strategy would rather be either from medium to hard or medium soft, depending on what tires these drivers have started. There we go, Zen is into the pits.
What? We have the same pit entry and I had to wait for you.
Oh no!
Ah, that sucks!
And there is going to be medium tires going on, and I believe that is softs off and mediums on for Zen, and they are now going to be into P2. I believe Scrubbins came back in the pits as well, following Zen, and it is Flyscott going to be your new race leader. And there is one more pit stop and another driver in the pits, and that is Fitty. A little contact for them earlier on, and High B then being the loser in that contact between Fitty and High B there. Just two contacts we had, Scrubbins and Zen, and that was Fitty and High B in this race so far. Lap 7 out of 15. We're getting these drivers into the pits, and the pit stops are over, and almost everybody who started on the soft has switched up to medium tires. Meanwhile, we have Scott still on, Flyscott still on the medium compound tire in P1, unless they've pitted.
Alright, we need a safety car.
God, don't say that.
We'll see if they come into the pits right now or a lap or two later. Trying to make the medium to soft strategy workout. We'll see what they do though. They still don't stay out. They head into the pits now, and we'll see what tire they go on to. And most importantly, it should be the soft tire going in for Scott to make it work towards the end, or is it going to be the hard tire? Let's have a look at it there, and that indeed is going to be a hard tire, I believe. Yes, it is going to be. Maybe we would have thought that they started on the medium, could go for the soft, but it depends if they had a set of soft tires available or not, and as it stands, they have not decided for that. Probably just hoping and maybe thinking that they can do a better job on these hard compound tires than they could have done on the soft if they had pitted at the moment. And FlyScott back out into P3, so that is a good job done by them as well now. And the top three are back where they were before the start of the race, but FlyScott is still in P3, Footy in P4 at the moment, who was in P4 earlier on, but the AI of Codes, I believe that is, in P4 at the moment. Footy in P5, High B in P8, and last of the running cars out on track. But our drivers that we have, lap 8 out of 15, still looking at FlyScott's car, just looking at through of how good they are able to do so far in this race. And as it stands, they are going strong though. Still the gap is over 4.1 seconds between the top two.
Dang it, I just spun out.
Oh no!
And now I am in the pit.
We'll see what battles we see in the remaining laps of this Grand Prix, what battles are underway, and on our face is going to be, and we see another pit stop. I wonder who that was. As it stands, it is FlyScott's gonna gain a position. Is it Scrubbins into the pits? They might be. As it stands, the gap to the car behind for them is over 22 seconds, so they might just be in the pits and heading for a pit stop. Not quite sure what exactly happened though. Either they didn't pit earlier on, or that contact between Zen and Scrubbins earlier on maybe might have had a little damage that they wouldn't have repaired on the previous pit stop. Could end up being the chance for them to pit again, but we'll see how good everybody now remaining in the race can do. At the moment, High B have got 2 AI drivers ahead of them. We'll see if they can overtake and give us a little entertainment of this race so far, as we have seen them fight it out. They did fight it out, give us a very good fight between Fiddy and themselves, but can High B do it though? Can High B do it this time around? We'll get that DRS activated and get that rear wing open, but is it going to be enough though? They don't get it open this time around. In fact, they will now as the DRS zone just comes in. We'll see how close they're going to be there though. Can they overtake around the outside or on the inside line? They're going to be on the inside and send it, and a move for High B, and into P6 they go. That is a position taken from the Kalan, and that's going to move them into P7. But is it going to be enough for High B? Can they defend? Can they keep this position to themselves? Are they going to think about attacking the car ahead, or defend from the car behind? What is it going to be their planning? Into the final corner they go. They just make their way into them on the main straight. Meanwhile, we are having a look at Fitty's car at this point, but we'll see what can we do. What is going to be the chance for others to look at? And we'll see cars behind as well. 1.4 seconds, or in fact 1.5 seconds indeed is the gap between these two drivers at this point, Fitty and Scrubbins, I believe, and that gap is now tumbling down, is just about 1 second now, as Scrubbins is now going to be behind Fitty, and Fitty is going to be having a good chance to try and hope to defend this position, but can he do it though? Fitty, remember, being involved in one of the incidents earlier. Can they defend their position now? It's all or nothing for them so far, but what about High B here, as we switch on at the start, and look at this, it's going to be side by side between High B and an AI driver, and it's going to be High B at the top, and one more proving the humans are going to be better than the AI, but this time around it's going to be human versus human, and there was a little contact, almost a little slide from Fitty once more, and Scrubbins going to take that position and back into P3. Even after a late pit stop, Scrubbin has made it back to the top and back to the top 3. Is it going to be a DRS zone enough for Footy to attack again? They're going to get that rear wing open, but will they have it? Will they give us an opportunity to themselves and give us the action to go for this though? We'll see how they're going to be able to do. Can they hang it in there? Going wide once more, and a little bit of slide of the car once more, and that is going to be not enough for Footy to keep going and keep up with the car ahead of Scrubbins. And Scrubbin already making the gap over 1.3 seconds, and that as it stands. Oh, that was a little close. That is close once more, and almost hit the wall round the outside. Did Footy there? That could well be a problem, therefore. Had they made a bigger impact with the wall, could have been a race-ending impact, but as it stands, it is going to be clear of everything. Lap 11 out of 15 as it stands. 20 seconds gap between the top 2, between Zenzuko and Fly Scott. Previous year's champion and a new driver, a race winner, and we're on the way to win this race. But we'll see. I mean, a mistake could make it bad. A mistake could end up ruining your race if you do not pay attention, if you do not have the actual importance of this race. So far, of course, if you do not try and drive by cautiously, you could end up having an incident, maybe a little mistake, little bit of a problem of tweak of hitting the wall. Could well be a race-ending problem, but we'll see what can our race leader do. Looking at Footy once more, and that is going to be a spin, and that is going to be a little spin once more.
Oh no!
Problems continue. As it stands, the problems continue for Footy there. The gap now over 9 seconds as mistakes come in for them. Meanwhile, Zen, our leader who's led the race from lap 5 onwards, hasn't looked back. They took the lead of the race on lap 5 and kept it to themselves almost every lap, every single lap after that one. And how good is that going to be? They've only got 3 laps, including this one, to navigate through around Albert Park and get the victory to themselves and take the win for themselves. Can they do it? This is their chance. This is their opportunity. It's going to be all or nothing. They could well be the world champion of this year. It was 2024 Fly Scott. Is it going to be 2025 Zenzuko? Only time will tell though. But in the remaining time, they have the opportunity to do the impossible, and it's going to be once more drivers having their spin, and that is going to, it should be Footy, I believe it should be Footy's car once more. It's difficult to judge from that angle, but it indeed should be, as Hybe's now at the back. Hybe's now only 1.9 seconds behind Footy there, and definitely the mistakes from Footy are going from smaller to bigger, and the impacts of those is going to be bigger for them as well. They may keep making mistakes, and the gap now between Hybe and Footy is 1.8 seconds, and one more slide, one more little tweak of the car and of the rear end is going to be a position back to Hybe. Remember, Hybe and Footy made contact earlier in the race, and that ended up sending Hybe a little back to the order, but we'll see how good can they do and how good of an opportunity they've got around here. Can they take it up though? Not a lot of laps now remain, so it could be all or nothing. 1.5 seconds. I mean, what a little slip. So maybe I think the amount of mistakes Footy have made so far, Hybe would really maybe just want them to make another one, but we'll see. As the gap now only 1 second, it is tumbling down, and it is now less than 1 second. Is it going to be an opportunity? It should be a move coming up, and should be an opportunity coming up for Hybe to take that position and get themselves to the top 4, and a possibility of the top 4 is on for Hybe. It's not off for Footy, but it depends how good of a defending can they do. At the rear wing for Hybe's on. Is it going to be Footy? Is it going to be Hybe? It was going to be Footy this time around. Going to keep their P4, going to keep their 4th position so far, but another DRS zone. Is it going to be another opportunity for Hybe? But still not enough so far. This corner specifically, it was the one that made that made Footy have spins earlier. It was the one that made High B lose the rear earlier. And it was the blue corner that made fights between these two alive. And this is going to be another opportunity. High B was closer, but not close enough to get that move and take that position. But this time around it might be there, as the pressure is already on Footy. And the defensive driving seems to be on as they move left and right. And it's going to be on the inside, and they make contact and they touch Footy once more. One more time, Footy and High B touch each other, and contact between the two seems to be a little suspicious as they made contact earlier. They making contact once more, but now we're going to see these two, the race leaders at the top. The gap is over 25 seconds. I think had there been no contact between the two, it could have been High B taking that 4th place, but they almost could be on the way to do it once more. We'll see. Can High B do it? High B's going to have that DRS. High B's going to have that slipstream. And this time around in turn 1, they're going to put them in the wall. And now Footy has put both of them in the wall. That was incredibly dodgy. And Footy have put High B and themselves, both of them, in the wall. And that is a 10-second time penalty for illegal blocking, but it is gonna be for that collision as well. That was a huge causing collision, but then it is gonna be Zenzuko, the man, coming up to take victory by over 26 seconds as they're gonna win the Australian Grand Prix, as the drivers at the back are gonna be making contact with the wall one more time. But Zenzuko has taken victory by a long margin and a dominant performance around Australia. They haven't looked back at all. And High B at the moment currently in P8. It's going to be Fly Scott coming home to finish P2, and a very good race for the former world champion as well. Then it is Scrubbins coming around. They should be over into third place as well, making that completion of the podium, as Footy at the moment seems to be in 4th place, sending High B at the back, last of the running cars. But can they keep this? Can Footy keep this? As they're going to go wide. They're going to go wide. Even on the final lap, they seem to struggle, and the struggle is on for Footy, as they're going to lose out more positions. And High B now is going to take their position against Footy, but it's not going to be enough, as more AI drivers are going to finish ahead of them. And that is then is going to be the end of this Australian Grand Prix here at Formula Fun Sim Racing. It was Zenzuko taking victory along with Fly Scott in P2, and the final podium finisher, Scrubbins. And Footy then maybe doing that little donut to the end, finishing in P8. And this is the final finishing order of this race. Having a look at the ending order, is Zenzuko taking victory ahead of Fly Scott with Scrubbins in P3. And others following by was the AI drivers, Clan, Bukrat and Cody's, along with High B in P7 towards the end. High B tried that little fight towards the end with Footy, but it just was not enough. Making contact twice, but going side by side with Footy, and it was just not the race to be for High B. Still well fought and well driven. Footy in the end making a lot of mistakes and ending up finishing this race. That's well done to them as well. Thanks so much everybody for tuning in on Formula Fun Sim Racing. It was myself, Zabi, and I'm out.